We are back, your
Oh,
resident sports parents, where
mm,
we talk about just raising young athletes, the challenges we face, the triumphs, everything in between. And today we are talking about choosing the right trainer.
yeah.
And that, my friends, very essential.
The word trainer is a hustle now. Like it's like everybody's a trainer. You don't really know what these qualifications are. A lot of these people, they just come out, I'm a trainer. And like O'Shea's trainer says it all the time. Like he's one of the first. And he's got a very well respected name. And he's like, I've seen trainers in workouts on their phone while they're training your kid, like so it's become a money grab to a certain degree. So you do have to be careful where you send your kid. I think the best bet is, in your area, wherever you are, is to try to get recommendations, referrals. We've been through that. They don't always work out.
When you mentioned that trainers are a hustle and that there's so many, I think because of that, some people are trying to differentiate themselves and say, instead of saying I'm a trainer, I'm a developmental
Uh,
coach.
yeah.
That's what I've heard. I think it's all like the same thing. Like a trainer's a trainer's a trainer. If you're a developmental coach, great. But I think everybody has their own kind of special niche in the whole spectrum of things. And I think when it comes to choosing somebody, I think that's important. No?
I mean, to me, training is development. When you're training, you're trying to develop your game. So for somebody to say they're a developmental coach, okay, you're a trainer. That's
that's
what you
and
are. I
that
mean, like
yeah, and
a trainer should be developing the kids.
herein lies the answer to the conundrum that I had in my brain because I follow along on Instagram and I'm noticing through social media, I'm hearing these different things. So it's good to know. When it comes to choosing the right trainer, let's break it down. Our son's trainer, we found out through word of mouth.
Yeah.
So it was something that he was just always known in the neighborhood, like, oh, you got to take him to so and so because he's got something there. We got to perfect it. There's another guy that we heard of. Certainly, his name was always popping up here and there, and through another parent, I decided, all right, after we talked about it, all right, we'll send him here. Give it some time.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to just, like with the training you're referring to, like O'Shea was there a good 6 months, 8 months. And at first it felt like he was getting something out of it. And then towards the end, it just seemed like they got lazy. Quick example that kind of like sealed the deal when it came to the training part of it. There was other issues as well, but we would bring them, towards the end, and every day they'd have a shooting machine set up, and that's what they would do for an hour and a half. Is just shoot off the shooting machine, which is a shooting machine is great, but that should not
That's
be
not
like the
good.
whole work. And it's the same spot every day, right and it's in the corner every day. They don't even move the thing around. Like it's just every day you go there, you're spending an hour and a half shooting from the same location. We could take them to the park and do that and get more shots up. So why are we paying for this? And that's kind of what, one of the factors that made us decide, like, yeah, this is not the right fit anymore. You have to be comfortable with the trainers. You have to feel good about what you're getting out of the training. Observe, be there. Don't just drop off and let the kids go and then rely on them to tell you how it went. No, stay there, watch the training, see if it's something that you feel is beneficial or that you want to continue with. A lot of places will give you a free session, or so you could try it out. But most importantly, just be there and watch it so you can see for your own eyes.
See how your child responds because a lot of our kids, they may not know how to articulate to the level of understanding on whether or not something is helpful to them. Like they're like, oh, it's okay. When they're
Yeah,
little and when they're small, when they're tiny, they're like 10, like, I'm not saying all children are like this, but they may not be able to articulate certain things. And it's one thing to drop them off and then pick them up, but it's another to sit, watch, and see how they treat all the children, see what the game plan is for the day.
yeah.
Nowadays, you find out through social media. You can also like stalk them. I stalked for a while before we settled. Like I stalked, I like talked to some people, and I was like, okay, great. let's pull the trigger and go. What I like about this particular coach is that he has a schedule,
Mm-hmm.
and the schedule comes out every month. It tells you where the practices or training sessions are going to be, the times. You have your choice for different times during the day, during the week, and so you can work it into your schedule. I know another trainer that's great, but he puts out a schedule like day of, and you got to
On
check the
Instagram,
Instagram
yeah.
story. And I'm like, I don't have time for this. I have a
Yeah.
busy schedule. So even though that guy is well respected and great, I know that wouldn't work for us because we need to be able to plan out our day a little bit better. We need to plan out our month a little bit better because
Yeah.
our daughter also takes swimming and has like a jam packed schedule.
Yeah.
So that was, oh my gosh, that was so important. Look at the facility. Is it to your standards? And I'm not trying to be bougie, okay?
No, it just has
I'm
to be
not.
good enough.
No, it's not like, and I'm serious when I say that. I'm not trying to be bougie, but it has to look a certain way. Like, and it's not like I could take a gym that hasn't been upgraded for a few years, but what I'm referring to is that there was one particular um, trainer that we went to, and O'Shea was like 10 at the time or something. The gym is tiny. It's small. It's like almost like half court size, and the ceiling was low. And although O'Shea was like under 5 feet at the time we took him, I said, okay, this can work for now because when he shoots, the arch on his, follow through is such that it'll be fine. But the taller he gets, guess what? He's going to be hitting the ceiling. And I even went to them and asked, all right, so are there any plans in the future, expanding, moving to another location? And I was asking this because I know, okay, my son right now is like 4'10", 4'11". This is fine right now, but by next year, when he's over 5 feet tall, this is not going to work. He's going to be
Yeah.
hitting the ceiling. And I saw it happen even then. And so when we moved him to the other trainer, oh my God, it took them forever to break him out of that habit because he had developed a
A flat
flat
shot,
shot.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean when it's like it has to be to your standards. It has to be something that works for your child and that's going to help them get better. And see what the other parents are saying. Talk to other parents. Are they having a positive, a good experience? Everyone's different. Everybody has different standards, but the more people you talk to, you get a better sense of whether or not this is going to work. And there are no other people more more honest than parents.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Especially moms. Player trainer ratio is important.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
like today, I mean, there were a good, I want to say 30 kids or 35 maybe in one session. 3, 5, 10, or maybe, yeah, maybe about 30 kids, something like that. But when you look at the amount of trainers, the ratio was fine. I mean,
Yeah.
um, you got a good 6,
Yeah, they usually have on the
about
weekends at
6.
least 5 or 6 trainers.
Yeah. So that was okay because I know you divide and you get like 5 to 1 or something like that. The ratio made me feel comfortable because
Yeah.
O'Shea's group was 10, for instance, and there were 2 coaches with him.
Yeah.
So there was one main coach and an assistant. They were kind of doing 5-on-5. And then on the other side with the older kids, there were 3 coaches
Yeah.
that were there. And so that made me feel okay. And then there were some administrative, people helping with collecting money, signups, and everything like that
Mm-hmm.
were off to the side. So I think that's important too, because you don't want your kid to be one of 10 and there's like one guy
Yeah.
like helping. That's too much. I think that's too much. At least you should have like an assistant there. So 10 kids, you got at least 2 people working with them.
One of the most important things is just to find somebody who believes in your kid and is not somebody where they're just looking at collecting kids. Yeah, collecting, just trying to get as many kids in the gym as they can. So find somebody who you could tell really, really believes in your child, wants them to succeed, sees the potential, and is going to push them to reach those levels. Because like I said, a lot of it is there is a lot of money grabs out there. They just want to get as many kids in the gym as they can, collect that session fee or whatever the fee is, monthly fee,
Yeah, it gets
and it
expensive.
gets very expensive. And they don't always have the best interest in your kid or care that much to where like they're really invested in the kids. Like
Yeah,
that's a big thing. Like you want somebody who really believes
yeah.
and sees the vision for what your kid wants.
So I hope this is helpful. Please leave a comment, like, subscribe, share your stories because this is a safe space to,
Yeah, we want to
share.
hear it.
Yeah, we
We want
want
to
to hear.
hear.
All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.